Hello, viewers, and welcome. Today we bring you the gripping true life story of Jessica. This isn't just any story, it's a tale of love, betrayal, and shocking revelations that will keep you glued to the screen from start to finish. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and comment where you're watching from, because trust me, this story will open your eyes far wider than you can imagine. Jessica sat frozen on the edge of her bed, staring at the thin plastic strip in her trembling hand. Her heart pounded so loud it drowned out the early morning quiet. Two bold red lines stared back at her. Positive. Pregnant. She blinked hard, as if her tears might blur the result into something else. Anything else. No, this can't be happening, she whispered, pressing the test strip against her chest like hiding it there could erase the truth. Her stomach turned again, the same nausea that had been tormenting her for days. She thought it was stress, maybe something she ate, but now it made sense. Or did it? How could it? She hadn't been with anyone in months. Her boyfriend had been too busy chasing small jobs. Their last time together was almost 3 months ago. So why now? Why this? She muttered. Rocking slightly on the bed, her voice cracking with confusion. She grabbed her phone with shaky hands and dialed the one person she knew she could call at this ungodly hour. Chica. It was barely 5 a.m. The phone rang once before her best friend's groggy voice, dripping with attitude, came through. "Jess, I beg why you dey call me this early? I'm not your boyfriend, oh," Chica grumbled, half asleep. Jessica's voice broke immediately. "Babe, I don't understand what's going on. I swear, I don't understand." Chica sat up instantly, sensing something in Jessica's tone. Wait, what happened? Jessie, talk to me." Jessica leaned back against her headboard, covering her face with her palm. "I've been feeling strange for weeks. Nausea, weakness. So this morning, I decided to do a test, and..." She lifted the strip, staring at it again as if the lines might fade. It came out positive. "Positive?" Chica screamed, suddenly wide awake. "Ha, Jess, how na? You sef no get shame? Who impregnated you?" "I don't know," Jessica shouted, almost sobbing. "It's been months since I did anything with my man. Months! So how can this be possible?" There was silence for a moment before Chica's mischievous laugh slipped through. "Maybe God wants to send us the second Jesus, and you, Holy Mother Jessica, are the chosen one." Jessica snapped, "Chica, stop it! This is not a joke. I'm serious, I'm scared, and you're here laughing at me." Her voice trembled, her chest rising and falling fast. Chica sighed, guilt softening her voice. "Okay, sorry, babe. But calm down. These test strips, no day accurate sometimes. I beg, go to the hospital today and confirm. Don't kill yourself with worry." Jessica nodded even though Chica couldn't see her. Yeah, you're right. Hospital, I'll go." By 8 o'clock, Jessica was already sitting stiffly in the hospital waiting room. The smell of antiseptic and the faint hum of the air conditioner only made her stomach churn more. Every second felt like an hour. She clutched her handbag tightly, tapping her foot against the tiled floor, her mind racing through impossible scenarios. Finally, the nurse called her name. She rose on shaky legs, following the woman down the corridor until she reached the doctor's office. The doctor, glasses perched on his nose, looked at her file and then at her. "Miss Jessica," he said calmly, "your result shows you are pregnant. Congratulations." He slid the paper across the table toward her. Jessica blinked at the word congratulations as if it was an insult. "Pregnant? Sir, that's not possible. I haven't been with anyone in nearly 3 months, and you're telling me I'm 3 weeks gone?" Her voice cracked, desperation filling every syllable. The doctor leaned back, adjusting his glasses. "The result is accurate. If you're confused, then you must carefully reflect. These things don't happen by accident. Please go home and assess yourself properly." His tone was final, almost dismissive, as he pushed the result further toward her. Jessica picked up the paper with trembling hands. The words blurred as tears filled her eyes. She wanted to scream, to demand an explanation that made sense, but all she could do was sit there, suffocating under the weight of what she'd just heard. She staggered out of the office and back into the bright sunlight. The city moved around her, cars honking, people shouting, life carrying on as if nothing had changed. But for her, everything had. She pressed her hand against her stomach, whispering under her breath, "This can't be a mistake. Something is not right." Her legs carried her forward, but her mind was lost in a storm of fear, confusion, and an unshakable feeling that her life had just stepped into a nightmare she couldn't yet understand. Jessica dragged herself to Chica's apartment, her mind still heavy with the hospital's words. She didn't even bother to knock softly. She banged until the door opened. Chica's face appeared, eyes sparkling with that mischievous glow, a ring light bouncing off her skin. Her phone was still propped on a tripod behind her, comments flying across the screen. "Aha, I knew you were the cockroach disturbing my live stream," Chica announced loudly, tilting her head dramatically, clearly still playing to her online audience. Jessica wasn't amused. She shoved past her and dropped onto the sofa, her shoulders slumped. Chica grabbed her phone off the stand, grinning at her viewers. "Guys, meet my bestie, Jessica. Crazy girl troublemaker, the one about to repeat history." She laughed into the camera like nothing mattered. "Okay, enough for now. Catch you later." She ended the live with a swipe. Jessica snapped her head up, anger flashing in her eyes. "Chica, what is wrong with you? How many times have I told you not to drag me into your nonsense streams? Do you know what I'm carrying on my head right now? And you're busy making me a clown for strangers?" Chica froze, the smile slipping from her face. Jessie baby, calm down. I was only joking. You know me nah, I no mean harm." She dropped her phone on the table and sat beside Jessica, placing a hand on her knee. "Talk to me. What did the doctor say?" Jessica pulled the hospital result from her bag and shoved it into her hand. Chica's eyes darted over the paper, her jaw falling open. "You're really pregnant?" Jessica nodded, her voice low, broken. "Yes, and I don't know when." Chica blinked at her. "Babe, you don't know. As in, you really don't?" Jessica hissed. "Don't mock me, I'm serious." Just then, Chica's phone buzzed on the table. She grabbed it quickly, the reflex of someone who lived half her life online. Her eyes scanned the notification, and she let out a laugh. "See this my Ashuo followers again? One of them just DM'd me." Jessica groaned, uninterested. But Chica continued reading aloud, mocking the message. "Listen to this one. My name is Toby. Please, I've been searching for the lady behind you in your live stream. We only met once at a club, but I've never seen her since. No number exchanged, nothing. Please help me reach her." Jessica's head snapped up. "What?" Chica looked at her, confused. What? "It's just one of those sugar daddies looking for a girl to toast." She chuckled and shoved the phone toward Jessica. "See for yourself." Jessica's hands trembled as she took the phone, her eyes locked on the name. Toby. The words blurred, but one sentence burned into her mind. "We only met once at a club." Her breath caught. No, she whispered, shaking her head violently. "What is it?" Chica asked, startled. Jessica's chest rose and fell quickly. 3 weeks ago, that girl's outing, the club night. Don't you remember? You, me, and the rest. I drank too much that night. Chica frowned, searching her memory. "Yes, we were all tipsy. But what are you saying?" Jessica closed her eyes, fragments of the night flashing back like a broken film reel. Her stumbling into the club, music thundering in her chest, the blurred face of a man offering her another glass, laughter spilling from her lips. Then the dizzy walk into a hotel corridor, Toby's cologne mixing with alcohol, his hand steadying her waist as the door clicked shut behind them. The memory of his breath, his weight, her blurred protests that melted into silence. She gasped, pressing her palm against her mouth. "Oh my God, it was him!" Chica's jaw dropped. "Jess, are you serious?" Jessica nodded quickly, tears welling in her eyes. "That night, I thought it was a stupid mistake, just drunken nonsense. But oh God, Chica, it all adds up. The doctor said 3 weeks. That night was 3 weeks ago. It has to be him." The room fell silent, heavy with the weight of realization. Chica leaned back, stunned. "So you mean this man, this Toby, is the father?" Jessica's voice trembled as she whispered, "Yes, and I have to talk to him." She grabbed the phone, copied Toby's number, and held it in her shaking hands. Her stomach turned as she stared at the digits glowing on the screen. Fear, shame, and dread twisted inside her. She didn't want to dial, didn't want to hear his voice, but deep down she knew there was no escaping this. Her finger hovered over the call button, her heart racing as if it might explode. "Chica, if I press this, everything changes," Chica whispered, almost breathless. "Then press it. Find out the truth." Jessica closed her eyes, a tear sliding down her cheek, and pressed call. The ringing tone echoed in the room like a countdown to disaster. Jessica sat on a wooden bench at the park, her palm sweating against the test result folded tightly in her hand. Every sound, the laughter of children, the rustle of leaves, the bark of a distant dog, faded beneath the thud of her heartbeat. Then she saw it. A sleek black Lexus SUV glided into the lot, the kind of car that didn't belong in a park but on the driveway of a mansion. The door opened slowly and out stepped Toby. Her breath caught. He looked nothing like the blurred figure from her drunken memory. In the clear light of day, he was sharp, dark skin glowing under the sun, gray streaks in his hair that gave him authority, not weakness. His wrist shimmered with a gold Rolex, the type of watch Jessica had only seen on billboards. His cologne reached her before his words did, rich, sophisticated, a scent that screamed power. But what unsettled her most wasn't the wealth. It was his age. Up close, there was no denying it. He was old enough to be her father, maybe even closer to her mother's age, 58. And here she was, 24, knees knocking as he approached. "Jessica." His voice was deep, steady, like a man used to commanding boardrooms. She nodded, unable to form words. He sat beside her, leaning back as though they were simply meeting for coffee. His composure only amplified her chaos. She fumbled with the paper in her hand, thrusting it toward him. This is yours to see." He unfolded it calmly, his eyes scanning the words. No gasp, no denial, not even surprise. Just a quiet nod. 3 weeks. Yes, that was when it happened. Jessica's lips trembled. "So you admit it? You're not even shocked? Do you understand what this means for me?" Toby's gaze softened, but his voice stayed measured. "Jessica, I'm not here to argue with reality. That night happened. I was drunk. You were drunk. But this," he tapped the paper gently, "is no longer about the past. It's about what comes next." Her eyes widened. "Next? I don't even know you. I have a boyfriend. I have a life. Do you expect me to just throw it away because of this?" He turned fully toward her, his face lined with age, yet oddly kind. "Life doesn't always follow the path we plan. I know I'm older. I know I'm not who you expected, but I will not run from responsibility. Let's not sit here like strangers in a park. Come to my home. Let's talk properly. You deserve clarity, and I owe you that much." Jessica's throat tightened. The offer sounded almost reasonable, but her inside screamed with confusion. His wealth shimmered around him, polished shoes, designer suit, the aura of a man who had built empires. Yet all she could think of was her boyfriend, the boy she'd loved since her first year in university, the boy still hustling for odd jobs, the boy who sometimes borrowed transport money from her, but the boy who had held her hand when she had nothing. Toby rose, straightening his jacket, his presence towering. "Think about it, Jessica. This child changes everything. Pretending otherwise won't make it disappear." He handed her a card with his address, then walked back to his car, leaving her frozen on the bench. That night, Jessica lay curled on her bed, the darkness pressing down on her. Her phone lit up with a message from her boyfriend. "Babe, I miss you. Things are hard right now, but I promise I'll make it. Just hold on for me." Tears blurred her vision. She clutched the phone to her chest, whispering into the silence. "Hold on? How do I hold on when I'm carrying another man's child?" Her voice cracked as sobs overtook her. Images tangled in her mind, her boyfriend's smile, his rough hands from endless work, the way he believed in love without money. Then Toby's face intruded, calm, steady, draped in wealth. One offered love with struggle, the other offered security wrapped in guilt. She buried her face in her pillow, muffling her cries. "God, what do I do? Who am I supposed to be with? How did my life get here?" Her tears soaked the pillow until sleep finally stole her away. But even in her dreams, the war between love and wealth raged on, leaving her more broken when morning came. Jessica stood at the gates of Toby's mansion, her mouth slightly open as the golden bars swung inward. She had seen rich men on TV, in movies, but standing here in real life felt different, unreal. The driveway was paved with shining marble tiles that reflected the sunlight, lined with tall palm trees, swaying like they'd been flown in from paradise. The house itself was massive, stretching out with white walls and glass windows that gleamed like diamonds. Her heels clicked nervously as she followed the guard toward the entrance. Every step made her chest tighten. Inside, the air smelled of roses and expensive polish. Chandeliers hung from the ceiling, their crystals scattering rainbow lights across the marble floor. Her eyes caught the golden staircase curling upward like something out of a fairy tale. For a moment, she forgot the confusion that brought her here. Toby appeared from the hallway dressed in a tailored suit that fit him like a second skin. "Welcome, Jessica," he said with a smile that felt too calm for the storm inside her. She swallowed hard. "This place, it's too much. I've never seen anything like it." He chuckled, walking closer. "It's just a house. What matters is the life inside it, and that's why I asked you to come here." Jessica clutched her handbag like a shield. "So what now? You've seen the result, you know the truth, but what exactly do you want from me?" Toby's gaze lingered on her face, soft but firm. "I want to take responsibility. I want to make things right. Jessica, marry me. Let's build a family. This child deserves more than secrecy or shame. You deserve more than struggle." Her breath hitched. The words struck her like thunder. "Marry you? Do you hear yourself? You don't know me. I don't know you. You're old enough to be my—" She stopped herself, her voice trembling. "My father," he finished for her, unflinching. "Yes, but destiny doesn't check birth certificates. That night wasn't planned, yet here we are. I won't run from it. Neither should you." Jessica stepped back, shaking her head. No, I have a boyfriend. We've been together since university. He may not have money, but he loves me." Toby's lips curved into a sad smile. "Love doesn't feed a child, Jessica. Love doesn't pay hospital bills or school fees. Your boyfriend may love you, but right now, he cannot give you what you need." Tears stung her eyes. She wanted to scream, to push him away, but his words lodged themselves deep in her chest. Later that night, she recounted everything to Chica, pacing the room while her friend sat cross-legged on the bed. "Jessica," Chica said, tossing her braids back, "you're crying over a poor boy who can't even buy you dinner half the time. And here is a man, rich, handsome, ready to settle down, ready to claim you in front of the world. You better shine your eyes. Opportunity like this doesn't come twice." Jessica's voice cracked. "But it's not about money, Chica. I've been with my boyfriend for years. How do I just throw him away?" Chica rolled her eyes. "Throw him away? Babe, he already threw himself away when he couldn't step up. You're carrying another man's child, Jessica. Forget loyalty. Think survival." Jessica covered her face with her hands, torn apart inside. The next morning, noise outside her compound pulled her from bed. She rushed to the balcony and froze. A convoy of luxury cars lined the street, black SUVs gleaming under the morning sun. Neighbors had already gathered, whispering and pointing. At the center, a brand new white Mercedes GLE stood with a giant bouquet of money strapped to the bonnet. Jessica's gate opened, and Toby stepped out of the car, dressed in a cream suit, flanked by guards. He held a small velvet box, and then, right there in front of everyone, he went down on one knee. "Jessica," his voice carried across the compound, strong and steady. "I know our story began in the most unexpected way, but I don't want to hide or pretend. I want to honor you. Will you marry me?" The crowd gasped, phones raised high. Chica, who had slept over, was already live streaming, screaming into her phone. "Say yes, Jessica, say yes! Don't dull this chance!" Jessica's entire body shook. The world blurred as all eyes turned to her. Her heart screamed no, but her mind whispered about security, wealth, and the child inside her. Toby's eyes locked on hers, unwavering. "Say yes, Jessica. Let's make this real." And before she could even think, the words slipped out, shaky and breathless, but loud enough for everyone to hear. "Yes!" The crowd erupted. Toby rose, sliding the ring onto her trembling finger, and pulled her into an embrace. The cameras flashed, Chica cheered, neighbors clapped, and in that moment, Jessica felt something dangerous, the spark of excitement. Her tears mixed with a small, guilty smile. She was now engaged to a man she barely knew, a man old enough to be her mother's lover, and yet her heart beat faster, not with fear, but with the thrill of stepping into wealth. Jessica couldn't stop smiling as she drove the Mercedes into her family compound. The white GLE gleamed under the afternoon sun, the money bouquet still fresh on the bonnet, a loud symbol that her life had changed overnight. She stepped out, flashing her ring finger like a trophy, the diamond catching the light. Her mother, Anita, rushed outside, her wrapper tied carelessly around her waist, eyes widening. "Jessica, my daughter!" she screamed, hugging her tightly. "Chineke, you didn't tell me this is what you wanted to surprise me with." Her mother's face glowed with joy, a happiness Jessica hadn't seen in years. "Mama, calm down, let me breathe," Jessica laughed, twirling for her. "See the car, see the ring. Mama, your prayers have finally worked." Anita clasped her hands together, tears welling. "I knew it. I knew God wouldn't abandon you. All those years of struggling with that boy who had nothing. Finally, my daughter is entering her rightful place." She touched Jessica's cheek lovingly. "Who is this man, eh? When will I see him?" Jessica's chest swelled with pride. "Very soon, Mama. In fact, tomorrow he's coming officially. With convoy, with everything. You will meet him properly." Anita gasped. "Tomorrow? Woo, then I must prepare. The house must be shining. I need to cook something special. Jessica, you've made me proud." She hurried inside, already shouting for the maid to bring out the broom, her excitement contagious. That night, Anita barely slept. She kept peeking at the ring on Jessica's finger, her face glowing with maternal satisfaction. Jessica herself tossed and turned, excitement mixed with nervousness. Somewhere deep inside, a small voice still whispered doubts, but the glitter of wealth drowned it out. By morning, the compound was spotless. Curtains changed, floors scrubbed until they shone. The aroma of rich stew and jollof rice filled the air. Neighbors peeked over the fence, gossip already flying. Jessica dressed carefully in a fitted gown, her makeup soft but elegant. Chica, of course, had her phone ready, determined to capture every moment. And then they heard it, the deep rumble of engines. A convoy of black SUVs rolled into the street, horns blaring softly, tinted windows gleaming. The neighborhood erupted, children running after the cars, neighbors rushing out to watch. Jessica's heart pounded with pride. This was her moment. The gates opened. Guards stepped out first, scanning the compound with military precision. Drivers stayed behind. Then Toby descended from the lead car, his cream suit impeccable, his presence commanding. He adjusted his cufflinks and smiled faintly at Jessica before following her into the house. Jessica led the way, her heels clicking against the polished tiles. Chica trailed behind, grinning like a cat who had swallowed a canary, phone tucked secretly in her palm. Toby walked in last, calm as ever, the air of wealth surrounding him like perfume. "Mama!" Jessica called brightly as they entered the sitting room. "This is the man I told you about. Mama, meet—" The words froze on her tongue. Anita had risen from her chair, her hands trembling. The moment her eyes landed on Toby, the color drained from her face. Her chest rose and fell in short, sharp breaths. "No," she whispered, stepping back. Her voice grew louder, shaking. "No, it can't be. It cannot be." Jessica blinked, confused. "Mama, what is it? This is Mr. Toby. Stop!" Anita screamed, her voice cracking. She clutched her wrapper tightly, eyes wide with horror. "Jessica, no, not him, not this man." Jessica's mouth fell open. She turned to Toby, but his face had gone pale, his usual composure shattered. His jaw clenched, his eyes darting to the floor, then back to Anita, guilt written all over his features. Chica gasped, almost dropping her phone. "Wait, what's going on here?" The air was thick, suffocating. Jessica looked from her mother to Toby, back and forth, her stomach twisting. She had no idea what secret hung in the air, but the panic in her mother's eyes chilled her to the bone. "Mama, please, you're scaring me. What's happening? Do you know him?" Jessica's voice cracked, her hands shaking. Anita covered her face with her palms, tears slipping through her fingers. "Jessica, my daughter, you don't understand." Jessica's breath caught. Her chest felt like it was caving in. She turned slowly to Toby, searching for an explanation, but he only looked at Anita with a heaviness that told its own story. "No, somebody talk to me," Jessica cried, her voice rising with desperation. The room buzzed with silence, a silence heavier than words, and Jessica, caught between her mother's panic and Toby's guilty silence, felt her world tilt beneath her feet. To be continued. Watch out for part 2. Don't forget to subscribe, drop your comments, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the shocking truth that's about to unfold.